So interviewing, okay? This is the next thing I want to talk about. Massive topic. I'm just going into it in really small detail. I'm sure your school, uni, wherever you are has helped you with this previously and can give you more advice. But this for me is what is really, really important. So if you're lucky enough to be offered an interview, fantastic. Make sure you acknowledge that interview offer straight away. So I'll tell you a story. I was in my final year of university and I applied to help at Wimbledon or Queen's, and I got a call back for an interview, and I was like, brilliant, I was so excited, and I didn't read the email properly and I didn't reply, and on the train on the way down to London from Bath to go to this interview, I realised I was meant to have replied, and the interview was the following day. I was going to stay in London because it was quite early, and so I emailed the lady and I said, look, I'm really sorry, I don't think I replied, I'm on my way to London, I'm really hoping I can still come to the interview tomorrow. Anyway, so she replied and said, yes, I can come to the interview, but I didn't get the job. There's no way she was going to give me the job when there were loads of other people and no doubt the majority of them had replied. So I was no better than any of them. But they had replied, acknowledged, done what she had asked. And that was a massive learning for me. Because when I interviewed, I was like, I was exactly what they were looking for. And it was really my own fault that I didn't get the job because I hadn't read her email correctly and I hadn't done what she had asked. So the first thing to do is, if you get offered an interview, respond. Confirm your attendance, thank them for their time, say that you look forward to meeting them there. You then need to think about what are they going to ask you. So if it's a corporate job, you need to research that company inside out, upside down. What is the position you're going for? Who last did it? How long were they there for? What does it entail? What skills do they need? What questions might they ask you? What experiences have you got to share? All of that stuff. You need to have all of that ready to go. You also need to have a really good outfit. You need to think about what is the environment you're going into. If we're talking about this in terms of a corporate job, you need to think about what's going to look good, what's going to be smart, what's going to be comfortable. What if I'm really sweaty? Like, will it show? Will it stress me out that I look like that? What about my hair? Do I have any tics? So a tic is something we do when we're nervous. So sometimes you'll see me fiddling with my hair, and that's like it's not an unconscious thing that I might be doing. Now, if you do things like that when you're nervous, then you need to tie your hair back, have it in a low bun, like out the way. Don't have things in your face because you don't want to be distracting them with little tics of behaviour, okay? So all of those, and then you need to work on your commute. Like, how are you going to get there? How long is it going to take? And then you need a contingency. So I would double the time. And then when you get really close to your destination, go walk past it, make sure you know exactly where it is. You should be there substantially before. I would always try and be there an hour before, and then just go and find a coffee shop. So you know that it takes you 10 minutes to walk from the office to the coffee shop. So you go and you sit in the coffee shop, and then 20 minutes prior to your interview, you walk back and you are 10 minutes early for your interview. If you're late for an interview, the amount of people I've rejected because they've been late for our meetings in the office. And if you are late for whatever reason, something happened, phone ahead, message them, email them, contact them in any way and keep them updated. And when you get there, apologise. So we've had somebody and she was late for our interview, and neither of the girls in the office who were interviewing her, I was just there, mentioned it at the end when I was asking for a debrief. And I said, guys, she was late. She was 10 minutes late and she didn't even apologise. And they were like, oh. And they were like, oh, she was really good. And I was like, she was, but you can ring her and tell her that I'm really unimpressed. Because that is just, if I send you, so for me, I'm sending you to a family, I'm sending you to look after someone's children. If you are late for me, does that mean you're going to be late for them? And the girls rang her and they told her that they were really impressed with how she interviewed and lots of good things, but that I had noticed she was late and I really wasn't impressed, and so they wanted her to explain herself, and then we would make a decision as to whether we would chance it with her. And she explained herself and we gave her a chance, and actually she's proven to be a fantastic nanny and asset to Team Freckles. So it's about how people handle things, and I do believe that you have to give people the opportunity to improve and show up and realise what they acknowledge that what they did wasn't great, and that's what we did with her. But we're looking at kind of your deep down personality, and if something for me doesn't gauge, then I'm not happy about it. So you need to make sure, you're early, all right, really, because there's nothing worse. It's really hard to come back from a first impression if you're late, okay? The last thing I want to talk about is a handshake. Like, how are you going to be greeting this person interviewing you? Because I don't think there's anything worse than a limp handshake. If you are not a handshaker, then go practice. Go practice with your mum, your dad, your brother, your boyfriend, anybody. Just get them to practice a firm handshake that says confidence, that says, I've got this, that says, I'm worthy of your time. A limp one just implies that you don't think you have the value that somebody needs. It doesn't show confidence in yourself, and that's what people want to be seeing. Now, to be more confident in an interview is to have, one of the things you can do to be more confident is to have knowledge. So go and work on your knowledge. We talked about fear when we did that in lesson 4. One of the things that you can do is to reduce your fear is you can increase your knowledge, and that's why researching a company, the job, everything like that can really help boost your confidence and therefore how you will interview and come across. So do the groundwork. It is so worth it. And now just quickly, if you're interviewing for a nannying position, it's slightly different. So the outfit that you're wearing is probably going to be quite different to a corporate one. I want you to practical, sensible, like comfy, and that enables you to engage with the children. So I'm not saying 6-inch stilettos. I'm probably thinking jeans, t-shirt, or a loose fitting blouse, something like that, and your rocker with some stuff in, and maybe pumps or trainers, something practical, because the job that when you're being interviewed for a nannying job you're being asked of is to engage with the children, is to care for the children, it's to run around after the children. So showing up in a suit and 6-inch heels is just not relating to working with children. And the other thing that's really different when you're interviewing as a nanny is that the children might be present. Now, our parents always want to see the nanny engage, and that's something that I always want to see. So if I have a 2-year-old, okay, and you've come for an interview with me and we're having a chit chat at the table, and let's call him Henry. Henry toddles up and he's like, I got a car, and and you're like, hi Henry, like, can I see your car? I really want to see you engaging with Henry. I really want you to see you getting down on his level, playing choo-choos on the floor, doing things with him. When you arrive at the house and he toddles up behind mummy's leg, I want you to say, because you will have researched the names and ages of the children, I say, bend down. I want you to get eye level with him and say, hi Henry, I'm Joe. Like, it's really lovely to meet you. I'm here to speak to your mummy, like, da-da-da, can you, and then a child might say to them, can I show you my bedroom, or show you my toy, or look what I got, da-da-da. And that's where you have to take their lead and engage with them, because that speaks volumes to a parent, is how quickly their children bond with somebody. People, nannies who've been expertly qualified and stuff have not succeeded at interview purely because they haven't engaged with the child, because they've sat there and continued to talk to the parent. And I know it's really hard if they're asking you a question, but you can just say, oh, excuse me, do you mind if Henry's just asked me about something, you see, and focus on him, look at him, get down on their level. That's what I want to see. Other things when you're interviewing in a family are, I think, offer you a cup of tea, thank you so much, that's really kind. When you get up to leave, pick it up and go, can I pop this somewhere? Pop back in the kitchen or in the dishwasher. Because again, that's part of your role. That's part of what you're interviewing for, is that kind of helpful, getting stuck in attitude. And finally, actually, with children, depending on the job that you're going for, definitely you want to be researching activities to do. So say you're being employed to look after a 3-year-old and a 6-month-old, activities to take them to, make sure you've got researched a rota. What about meal options? What about kind of, if you found anything out about the kids, things they like to do or dislike to do, or how to help them with, weaning research that you've done. anything like that, so that again you've done your legwork. And that's the same if you're in the company, you've done the research on the company. So that's kind of what's really, really important and how they really differ. And we do loads of training on this, on interview skills and techniques specific to nannying at our courses, but it is quite different. Again, firm handshake. But all of these things, guys, are different. And the more interviews you do, the better you will get.